Here's the root most of the times, because jealousy and envy are not the same thing. Envy is when you want to be another person. You're probably like, dang, you got anything else to do? Almost everything stems from childhood. When somebody has been dismissed their entire lives, or made to feel as if their personality was wrong, or the things that they're interested in are wrong, they're most likely going to grow up with some type of trust issues within themselves. When self-confidence has never been built up in a child, you don't allow them to make little decisions or even speak for themselves, and you don't allow them to use their voice, you are creating the perfect formula to set up this child to become an envious or jealous person who is going to attach to whatever personality seems to be getting what they've been needing their entire lives. When someone grows up not being able to trust themselves, they look to other people. And when you have something that a lot of people like, and they've been needing and craving love their entire lives, mixed in with not trusting themselves and not knowing who they are, why would they not try to be like you? If 1 + 1 = 2, that's basically what it is. You're getting a result that they like, so they have to find out how to get that. And most of the times in their head, imitate, imitate, imitate. That's all it is. Since they have never been in a place where their personality was safe, it was discarded. It was probably discarded years ago or never really untapped. We all are our own people, but it takes time to figure out who you are. And you really can't do much of that if you never build trust within yourself. Because if you have a parent that just wants you to listen to them, that personality is not going to be allowed to be developed. Because in order for your gifts and your talents and everything about you to come out, it has to be safe. You're not going to be able to be yourself completely if you're completely tense all the time or you're on edge. And since they don't trust themselves, you might notice something. They can never make up their mind. They're constantly going back and forth. For example, you're going to wear that blue shirt today? I hate blue, especially on shirts. 2 days later, hey guys, I just bought this shirt and it's the color blue. I love the color blue. It's my favorite. She is treating you the exact way she's treating herself in her mind. You confused? She's confused. That's really just because they've never been allowed to feel comfortable enough to make their own decisions. Decisions have been made for them their entire lives. So it's a whole bunch of confusion. And you'll notice these people will be some of the most indecisive people on planet Earth. It's like, dang, what do you want? Whatever you want. And then when you do what they want, I didn't really want that. They admire you, but they also don't like you being you.
Let's talk about jealousy and envy in female friendships real quick. Because I've been noticing an influx of like the girls girl phenomenon. And I have my own commentary on that, but we'll save that for later. To be clear, being jealous is a completely normal feeling that everyone in this entire planet gets. The difference between jealousy and envy is that envy is a result of jealousy combined with resentment over time. That's when it gets ugly. Being able to be jealous and recognize your jealousy and then use that to better yourself is a completely different thing. But a lot of people will sit in their jealousy and then combine it with anger and then blame it on you. Those are not the type of girls you need to be friends with. You can be secure in yourself and also want other things that people have. But I think it has a lot to do with the amount of blame that you put on the person who has the thing that you want. In my opinion, if I'm coming up short for me, that's on me. If I want something, I go get it. But a lot of times people will just hate you because they're too lazy to try and get what you already have, or they know that they can't, so they just resent you for it. Okay, that's my commentary. Toodles.
When people are insecure with certain parts of themselves and they start pointing out parts of you that you're not insecure with, and they start saying what they would be doing if they were you, these people just might be in a secret competition with you. And sometimes they slowly start disliking you because they don't like themselves, and they envy the parts of you that they don't feel like they can achieve within themselves based on a life they believe that you could be living because they wish that they were living that type of life. They are secretly trying to tell you, if I had what you have, this is who I would be based on that. But because I don't have that, and I feel like you're wasting what you have, I'm going to start pointing out every single flaw I think exists within you to deflect from all of my own insecurities. And this isn't always obvious, because sometimes you think that you have possibly made a new friend, or you may like this person and think that you guys can potentially date. Meanwhile, in their head, they are sizing you up, because to them, even if your life is not perfect to you, they are so unhappy with where they are that they sometimes start picking at you while complaining to you about all of their insecurities and their trauma, slowly turning you into their therapist and their punching bag. And it does not matter how much you could support them. It does not matter how much you accept them as they are and encourage their improvement along their journey, because they are struggling with managing their insecurities without projecting that onto other people. You're always going to be the scapegoat for their issues. And they make you that by randomly coming at parts of your life that they have not experienced, because then they start sizing you up based on their trauma. Because sometimes they get angry that you are still able to smile with what you've been through. And instead of them working through and trying to figure out what makes them happy and how they can succeed and better themselves and move beyond what's happened to them, they start trying to tell you what you should be doing, what you should have done, and what they're gonna do if they ever reach a place in their lives that mirrors where they think you are. Because it does not matter if you're struggling or insecure with anything. They see where you are and who you are as better than their current existence. So with some of these people, no matter how supportive you are, you're being a good friend to someone whose insecurities are actually causing them not to like you because they don't like themselves. Sometimes they're thinking about how much they can drain from you to bring you down below them so that they can hover over you. Pay attention to what people say to you and how they say it.
I think the reason why close people to you will always say those catty comments is because a part of them is resentful that they weren't able to do the same.
Yeah.
A part of them feels that I can't do what she's done and go after my dreams because I'm scared of the same things as you probably were.
Yeah.
You know, those friends that you had, they're probably nervous because they were brought up in the same environment as you with those same narratives, and you broke free from them and they didn't. So of course they're going to be the first ones that are going to say, also, why are you doing that? Sometimes it can come from a place of, you know, bitchiness, but deep inside, the people who spread hate, the people who say horrible things, they are deeply unhappy and
They're
probably
deeply unhappy.
insecure.
Yeah.
So I just watched a TikTok of a girl saying that every time she brings her best friend around her new boyfriend, her friend will always go out of her way to insult her or make jokes at her expense. And everybody in the comments is like, she hates you, she low-key doesn't like you, she's jealous of you, or she wants your man. And any and all of that could be true, but I wanted to offer a different perspective. So in psychology, we study attachment styles, and people with anxious attachments, biggest fear is the fear of abandonment. So if your best friend is anxiously attached to you, the introduction of your new boyfriend becomes a perceived threat to the security of her relationship with you, and this triggers an anxiety response from her. An added layer to this is the way we're socialized in the West, where the people closest to you are the ones that tease you and the ones that'll roast you, and that informality between two people is perceived as closeness. So what your friend may be doing is trying to show her proximity to your inner circle in an exaggerated way. So she's teasing you to show your new boyfriend that she's so close to you that she can tease you about things that even he couldn't. I'm sure so many of you have been in this situation where a friend that you consider close otherwise, whenever you are out in public with them, they always find a way to insult you or make some kind of snide comment or tease you. Like, for example, if you're out with your friends and a random stranger compliments your hair, and before you can even say thank you, your friend chimes in and says, that's not even her real hair, that's extensions. Or if a colleague makes a comment about how organized you are, but then your work bestie says, oh my God, you should see how messy your car is though. What these people may be trying to do is flex how close they are to you. So they try to show that they are privy to insider information that the other person isn't. This is often an anxiety response for the person that has anxious attachment when they start to feel like their position or their closeness with you is being threatened by somebody else. This obviously does not excuse their behavior, and there needs to be a conversation to communicate that you are not okay with the comments that they are making. But this is just also to say that people are more complex, and especially people that have trauma in their past, their actions don't always match their intentions.
So somebody who feels envious of you ends up befriending you. And consciously, they may not be even aware of that. They think, well, I do want to like them. But unconsciously, they feel envy. They think that you have success that you don't necessarily deserve, that you have what they want. right? They become your friend and they charm you, et cetera, et cetera. And then lo and behold, you start noticing all kinds of behavior that's very ugly that you weren't expecting because they're your friend. They start saying bitchy comments that get under your skin, that make you feel insecure. They take things from you. They act in ways that are hurtful. But because they're your friend, your first instinct is to blame yourself. Well, maybe it's my fault that they've done this. Maybe I'm actually to blame for what they're saying, et cetera, et cetera. So I believe behind the frenemies phenomenon is this phenomena of envy, where the person secretly wants what you have and they're becoming your friend so that they can wound you.
Sometimes it's dangerous not to know how blessed you are, because other people will see your glow before you do. And when you think people are approaching you for friendship, no, they're approaching you to study you. Sometimes they're approaching you to be better than you. And the best way to be better than somebody is to get close to them. They say to keep your friends close and your what? Your enemies even closer. And there's a reason for that. People have taken down whole kingdoms doing that kind of technique. I mean, look at the country we're in. We're in England. The history books have shown how people get close to each other, even to go as far as marriages, to have bigger armies to take over people. Blood has been shed trying to be the best of the best. So what do you think the millennial version of that is? Studying someone, aka your enemy, but under the guise of saying friendship.